How do I, 31F, ask my overweight sister, 30F, to not sit in my chair?
Throwaway account. I, 31F, am moving all of my plants into a spare room of my house and turning it into my plant room. I've always wanted an egg chair, so I bought one for the room. I wanted to make sure both me and my son could sit together comfortably without getting too big of a chair that will take up too much space.
This one has a 250 pounds weight limit and the size fits the room well.
My sister, 30F, is living with me and my family currently. She's 5 feet 2 and about 320 pounds.
The only complaints and bad reviews about the chair were from people saying it wasn't sturdy enough for their large husband or for both of them to sit in. When my sister sits, she sort of plops down, and when she gets up she has to rock back and forth to get up.
My reclining love seat is loose in the spot where she always sits. I'm nervous that she will break my chair. It may sound materialistic to some, but it wasn't cheap and I saved to purchase it. I've dreamed about creating my perfect peaceful plant room with an egg chair since I started collecting plants. Plants brought me peace after my mother died and I had a stillborn within the same year. I'd rather her not come into the room at all, but I've found her in there, sitting in my chair a few times now.
How do I ask her to not sit in my chair?
Do I bring up the weight limit?
Do I lie and ask her to not sit in it for a different reason? Should I ask her to pay for a new one if she does end up damaging this one?
Advice please. Too long did not read.
How to ask overweight sister to not sit in a chair as I fear her weight may damage it.
She could hurt herself if the chair broke.
I feel like it's okay to say, "Hey sis, my new chair unfortunately only has a 200 pounds weight limit. I just want to let you know so you don't accidentally sit in it and get hurt."
I would feel bad if I didn't let you know. I'm fat. We already know.
Just tell her.
Kindly. Numbers are numbers.
Just tell her its weight capacity is 250 pounds and it's not safe for her to sit in.
She might get hurt. I would just tell her that it's a special room, chair, and you don't want anyone besides yourself sitting in it.
Make it into something where she specifically isn't being targeted.
I'm nervous in egg chairs and I'm not 200 lb. I'd say, "Hey babe, that chair has a 200 pounds limit. Don't hurt yourself, sit here instead, okay?"
Be tactful and kind. Say, "My new chair is not that sturdy, but it's something I've worked really hard to buy and really care about.
I'm not trying to be rude, and the last thing I want is to hurt your feelings. But, the weight limit is 200 pounds.
If you want to go in the plant room, would you mind sitting in a different chair? My husband, 30M, refuses to help me, 29F, fix our dishwasher. Any advice? My husband, M30, and I, F29, have been together for 10 years.
We had our first child 1 year ago and I have been a stay-at-home mom since.
Last month my dishwasher broke.
I have had to hand dry my dishes after every load. I know it's not a big deal, but I use it multiple times a day. When I first mentioned it my husband he said it was probably the heating element. He used to repair appliances.
The next time I asked he told me I should look up the part.
I made several more mentions about it thinking he would eventually have time. Well, last week for Father's Day I asked my husband what he wanted to do and he said he wanted to go to my parents' cabin. So I spend most of the day before prepping food and making his favorite cake. There were a lot of dishes and hand drying. The Monday after I got frustrated and told my husband I might as well just hand wash everything. To which he responded that I am the one home all day so I should just fix it myself. He has reiterated several times that he will not be fixing it and I need to figure it out. I won't lie, I blew up a bit and told him I am done being in this one-sided marriage. Ever since we had our son I feel like slowly more and more is just expected out of me. It's to the point where he does not help with any housework. He won't help me bathe or walk our 2 dogs and I do all the shopping, cooking. For the most part one don't mind, I'm home most of the day and it just makes sense. I rarely ask for his help, but on the few things I do. I feel like he doesn't care simply because the problem doesn't affect him. My husband is an incredibly hard-working person and he always puts 100% towards the things he cares about. His job, yard work, hobbies. Yet for some reason I feel like I'm pulling teeth to get him to help me with anything. I keep going back and forth on if I keep badgering him, which I am sick of doing, or just swallow my pride and fix it myself. Any advice? He always puts 100% towards the things he cares about. His job, yard work, hobbies.
But you aren't in this list.
I would start there if I were in your place. Hire another man to fix it. He will shut up. All these people telling you but a new appliance or hire sometime to fix are missing the real point of this post. You're asking for relationship advice, not appliance advice. I have to think that his attitude regarding the dishwasher and you needing to suck it up or fix it yourself is representative of many other aspects of your marriage. You really need to examine whether you want this for the rest of your life, because it's not going to get better. You have one kid now, it's only going to get worse when you have more kids.
Hire someone to fix it or buy a new one. You should not have to feel like you are pulling teeth to get him to fix things around the house.
Things break, you either fix it or pay someone to do it.
Clearly this is within his skill set, so he does have the ability.
You have a bigger problem than dishes. Buy a new dishwasher. You said you are in a one-sided marriage and I believe you. It is an infuriating position to be in. I'm sorry.
This will not solve your problems, but I suggest you stop doing things like you did for Father's Day, spending 2 days cooking and baking for him. It's surely not reciprocated by him, and your extra efforts will only add to your resentment.
He always puts 100% towards the things he cares about. His job, yard work, hobbies. Fuck him and his hobbies. Your husband is an asshole and you'd be better off single. Price new dishwashers, including delivery, installation, and haul away of the old one. Schedule a repair person to look at it.
Get an estimate for the repair.
Parts and labor. Decide which is best, then do it.
Until then, I probably wouldn't have much time for cooking. My 38F husband, 43M, refuses to discuss his gym friendship.
Is this emotional cheating? I've 38F been struggling with my husband, 43M, and his relationship with a woman he met at the gym.
It started on Father's Day when I saw him texting and smiling at his phone, ignoring me while I invited him to the breakfast table.
When I checked, I saw he was texting an unknown woman.
We've been married for 4 years and have a preschooler and a 1-year-old.
I didn't confront him immediately because my mom was visiting, but I did ask who he was texting. He didn't offer much information, and when I pressed further later, he admitted he was working out with her. He goes to the gym 3-4 days a week for 2-3 hours before work.
When I asked why he hadn't mentioned her before, he said he knew I'd be upset.
He also insisted he would continue working out with whoever he wants.
This led to several one-sided conversations, leaving me feeling heartbroken and sleepless for days.
I finally told him how I felt, that I was anxious and heartbroken, and that if roles were reversed, he'd feel the same.
He was silent. When I asked how long this would continue, he sarcastically replied that there was no sign-up sheet at the gym.
I expressed that I couldn't continue feeling this way and needed to know where we stood. He reassured me that he loves me and considers me his wife, but he didn't acknowledge my concerns. He hasn't addressed the issue or made any effort to rebuild trust. I haven't asked him to stop going to the gym or working out with her.
Instead, I suggested he find a way to make me feel more secure.
I even proposed inviting her over for dinner, but he ignored the suggestion. Too long did not read. I'm feeling jealous and neglected because my husband spends over 8 hours a week with another woman at the gym, time we don't have together as parents of young kids. He refuses to discuss the issue or address my concerns. Yeah, he's emotionally cheating and also being dismissive about it. I wouldn't put up with that. Considers you his wife? Might be time to consider him your ex-husband. He's basically having an emotional affair right under your nose.
Don't have another kid with him and start lining your ducks up.
And don't let him minimize this either, they are brewing for an affair.
I'm ever so sorry.
Horrible.
2-3 hours a day?
He's doing more than gym workouts.
A real man would never intentionally make his wife feel sad, insecure and anxious. He's a jerk. The fact that he is dismissive about her shows that his mindset is on her and time with her.
He is putting his mind and attentions on another female, making her more important than you and family.
Begin preparing yourself for what is to come, whether you're doing or his.
Good luck to you. My 21M girlfriend 18F slept with her friend during break. What should I do?
So, my girlfriend and I were on break, and her new friend, Guy, went to the bar with her and they had sex. Before going on break she did say that if there was a feeling she could potentially sleep with someone, but I told her I wouldn't like that, and on my end I didn't do anything with girls during the break.
Now we're back together and well, it's only been a couple days, but I think a lot about the fact that she slept with her friend. I really love her, she's not my first girlfriend, but I seriously never had good times like I have either her with someone else, plus we had the same life goals. I really don't know what to do because it's not cheating, but it makes me sad and I don't feel well. I also don't want her to see that guy friend anymore. Is that reasonable, even though she said she didn't like it and would never be attracted to him? I feel a bit lost.
This is why breaks are a bad idea.
Either work through your issues or break up for real.
If you need some space, that's fine, but you don't need a break to get that.
Even though you knew she'd gone against your wishes while you were on the break, you still got back together with her.
Now you guys have to deal with it.
You want her to not see that person anymore. If she won't agree to that, then you either need to accept that this guy is in her life or you break up for real. Sorry. Your girlfriend made a choice that she knew would hurt you. It doesn't matter if it was technically cheating.
Does that sound like someone who is prioritizing your relationship? There is no such thing as a break in a relationship. She broke up with you in order to explore her options with her new friend.
You really can't whitewash her behavior into anything else. She decided that she didn't like it with her new friend and has ended your break for now.
While you are now back together, you have to decide if this is the type of behavior you want to endure next time she sees a new and shiny toy.
As a female, she definitely asked you for a break to go have sex with her friend.
Imagine if it was good to her. She would keep secretly having sex with him. Who suggested the break? This girl obviously doesn't feel the same way about you as you feel about her if she can just meet someone and fuck them so easily when you're apart briefly.
Personally, I'd rather be with someone who loves me.
Time to respect yourself and move on.